Hi, I'm Lúcia Fonseca, and actually today I bring you a question. When you hear the words caring and engineering, do you feel they live in completely separate worlds, or do you see a connection in between them? I'm myself an engineer, and from a young age I've been interested in physics and mathematics, the wonder in the world that they give to me, but also how do they help me making sense of it, giving me a clear set of rules on how things happened and why. That was though until I took quantum physics at university, and suddenly it was all about probabilities, and even more interesting, object properties would change depending on how they were being observed. After all, uncertainty and subjectivity were not only at the art department or social sciences, they were also at physics. Later, I also became a volunteer for Engineers Without Borders, bringing technical education to underprivileged teenagers in Mozambique. And again, our biggest hurdles were not the technical ones. They were about people and feelings. How are they interacting with our programs, and in the long term, how could we measure our impact in the lives of these children? There are many problems that can be solved by technology alone, and that is okay, as we as humans have many other cool features that can help us to navigate our life. But I do believe that there are many beautiful technical solutions out there that can help us to be more humane, to enhance and augment our experience in doing what we do best, to connect with each other, care for each other, and help each other human to human. When we speak about enhancing through technology, it's very important to understand how we interact with it. How does it change our day-to-day life? I still remember when I was a student at the hospital as a young engineer looking into alarms for babies that were born before time, to understand where should the alarm go up, if it was low oxygen or high blood pressure. And I was really deep into this literature research with the school algorithms and trying to understand all the different complications these babies had, when I was asked to join some clinicians for a day. And my mind was actually blown, because I understand actually their challenges while interacting with technology. They would tell me, Lucia, after work I sit in my car or at home chilling, and I still hear these alarms in my head all the time. So this was a really important realization for me, that was not all on the beautiful technical algorithms, but also understanding how people interacted with that we could make the best of technology. Today, actually, this hospital has a new unit where they really focus on the bond between parent and child, with silent family rooms and also smart and as silent as possible alarms for the staff. Today, I'm an engineer for Philips at Image-Guided Therapies, where together with a team of clinicians, engineers, designers, and scientists, we work for augmenting the experience of surgeons so they can treat better and more patients. So the surgeries that they do, we call them minimally invasive. So this means that instead of opening the body of the patient, they'll actually do a small puncture and advance their devices through there until the organ that they want to operate. This is very important for the patient, because as you can imagine, it will create less complications during the procedure, but also better chances of recovery after, as it can minimize infections. So what does the surgeon do in these procedures? For example, they can repair a very big blood vessel in our body by assessing our groin and advancing the devices through there, but can also be via other natural pathways and roads in our bodies. For example, our airways that we use for breathing. They can reach a lung cancer lesion using the pods that we already use nowadays, where our air is passing, and then apply very locally heat so they can kill the cancer. And surgeries become less and less invasive as they actually imitate the natural way our body heals, using our blood vessels to distribute immunity cells to where they are needed, to use temperature as fever as a mechanism of defense. But as you can imagine, as the physicians, the surgeons cannot open the body and feel the anatomies, actually technical solutions become their eyes and their hands. Today at Philips, we work with several imaging modalities like X-ray, ultrasound, optic fibers, but also measuring tissue properties, blood pressure, and even cell electric fields. So we can actually give a sort of map of the surgeon of inside the body, sort of Google Maps if you want to think like it. So actually, where does the surgeon need to advance the device? Does he need to go more to the right or to the left? And also, very importantly, while he or she is delivering the treatment, is he cutting in the right place, or do they have to advance the device in another place in the body? And just as when I was a student back at the hospital, also today, we start our projects always by empathizing with the surgeon and the physician. Really deep diving in their day-to-day life struggles, understanding what are the biggest challenges and the biggest pains, and then iterating into different technical solutions that can help solving them. We deploy also our solutions into hospitals and continue to test them and understand how can they actually help saving lives. Is, for example, the algorithm still too complicated? Does the surgeon have time to use it during the procedure, or do we need to automate it further, still with the best clinical quality? And today, at Philips, I realize also that something that brings me much joy is that we work in all these different approaches. So we work on the feasibility part, about the technical solution, how should it look like, on the desirability part, so this really human-centric co-creation, trying to see the problem through the eyes of physicians, but also on viability. Who will buy this? Will just be a cool feature, or actually it will improve, save patients' lives, and hospitals will invest in that? And these are also crucial talks, because sometimes with physicians, in my interviews with them, they're very excited about some of the technical solutions, and I try to ask them, if you could choose one of these solutions to invest, which one would be? And this is also really crucial because it helps us understand in a tangible way, how can we help physicians and patients today, no matter the hospital resources. And indeed, it doesn't matter if the hospital is big or small, in order to bring innovation and healthcare to all, we really understand from the physicians that they really want to connect with the patient, right? These are people that choose their professions because they want to help each other, to be there for the patient, to spend time thinking about treatment options, not filling reports or analyzing data. Especially nowadays, even with COVID, burnout is a really big problem in our healthcare. So it is key nowadays that our technical solutions are actually very intuitive and ergonomic. They can really help in enhancing humans doing in what they do best, to connect with each other. And no matter what was the technical solution that I'm working at the time, I do see a common thread to it all. The human behind it, but also its fragility. The newborn baby struggling, born before time, the older gentleman anxiously waiting for his surgery, the clinical staff always relentlessly there helping the patients in need. And I came to realize they are not in love by physics or mathematics as I am, but they are in love by something even more important, to be alive and well and help those that are not. Because, you know, one day it can be me or you on that hospital bed, or perhaps a loved one. And perhaps you're not even an engineer or work for healthcare and are thankfully very healthy today. Can you think in one situation in your life where actually empathy can bring you a new perspective? For 1 minute, can you think in one person that you could try to see from their eyes? Thank you.